Hello, everyone. Thank you all for watching today's session for Getting Started with BarTender. Our topic today is all about designing labels with BarTender and how to connect data to your labels to help you get more detailed with your label design. I believe we can go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Ryan Rodriguez, and I am a senior product marketing manager here at Siegel. And with me today is one of our top sales engineers, Stephen Watkins. We have a pretty full agenda today. We're first going to go over a quick overview of BarTender for those who may not be super familiar with our products. And then Stephen will be showing us how we can connect data from an external source to our label templates. And then we'll finish up with a few questions that were submitted to us prior to this recording for us to answer those questions. And with that, I believe we can move forward. So before we get started talking about BarTender, I do want to take some time to address what is currently happening in the landscape of the supply chain. It's no secret that supply chains have been getting more intricate and complex over the years, from adding new suppliers, new ways of transporting goods, and so on. There's just a lot of moving parts. And as supply chains become more intricate and try to meet their customers' expectations, those same customers are demanding more and more, leading to major challenges across industries. I mean, you're expected to accomplish more with fewer hands to support you. You're having to work with little to no certainty of your inventory. And between all of that, you need to quickly resolve disruptions as they arise. And this is why it's more important than ever to ensure your operations are flexible and stable so you can stay competitive in the market. And it really starts with your labeling. I mean, you may not realize, but labels are at the heart of the supply chain. They let us know everything from where raw materials were sourced to the contents of an order. They help us build our bills of lading, verify our pick lists, and so much more. I mean, without proper labeling, we would have little to no information and have greater difficulty getting our products to market. And all this to say is that labeling enables item level intelligence to help you keep track of inventory items, finished goods, materials, valuable equipment, and more from your uh, manufacturing facilities and to your warehouses, all the way to your customers. And this is where BarTender comes in because BarTender transforms product identities into item level intelligence to enable greater visibility and traceability across your supply chain. The world's most dynamic supply chains rely on BarTender for our ready to use label design tools, our anywhere, anytime printing, and our industry leading flexible integrations and database connections, supporting over 250,000 customers across 175 different countries. But BarTender is more than just a labeling software. We offer a complete ecosystem of labeling experts from printer manufacturers to business applications to our partner resellers. We work with industry leading partners to ensure you build the labeling solution that's right for your business, no matter where you function within the supply chain. And BarTender is only one arm of Siegel Software, focusing on printer management, serialization, and creating digital identities to enable precise labeling and tracking from the start. Meanwhile, Mojix complements this by providing complete item level visibility across the entire supply chain, ensuring traceability and transparency from source to shelf. And by combining these expertise together, Siegel supports your business needs, enabling operation intelligence and efficiency for managing your assets across the supply chain. And so with that, I will pass it over to Stephen to give us the walkthrough of how to connect data to our labeling.
Thank you so much, Ryan. One moment, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Good deal. Thank you so much for letting me present for you today. Today we're going to have the opportunity to take the role of a gentleman who's got his own gaming store. It's called Todd's Retro Gaming Arcade. So Todd's been on the smaller side of what you want on his gaming store. It was a smaller shop, but just recently he's been able to kind of expand and start to do more. And with that, he's able to create more labels because he's got more stock that he needs to be able to create. So in looking at what you have here, I just have a standard label just for the counter, just for the game itself and the counter. So you can go through and as Todd's been doing, you could just click in and add a text box available here and put in a video game. So we'll put in Space Invaders. And with that, you can just go through, you would go ahead and preview the label itself, and this would be the label you get. Now, Todd has stock that's now starting to get above 1,000 games, consoles, and cartridges, if you will. And doing this by, one by one is going to start to get a little bit tedious over time. So Todd had been writing down in an Excel document all of his inventory and stock, but just recently was able to figure out that, hey, with the help of BarTender, we can actually add that Excel document to the label itself to help him in a couple of different fashions. So the first fashion we'll go through, and we're going to go to our database connection setup. I'll click on that, and we're going to go to an Excel document. We'll click, and we'll select the file that we have, and we got Todd's Retro Gaming Arcade list. Open it up. And we're going to select this file. Next. So data detection, and we're going to specify how the data is detected from the Excel spreadsheet. And it's going to use automatic field detection. And we could ignore empty records if we want to. We're not going to go into all that today. So we'll click next. So selecting the table in itself. So this is a very simple table. It's just one sheet. And if you do file preview, you can see the list of the table before you actually apply this. So it's great to be able to see what's happening before you apply this to what you're doing. Now we have checked the first row has field names. So games is the first row, so is the identifier. So everything below games will be considered part of the document in and of itself. And if you wanted, you could specify the range that you wanted to have in, but for our purposes today, we're just going to leave the document as is. We're going to click next. And now we're at the table itself. This is the one sheet. There's nothing else. And do you need to add more? Nope, I am finished. So I'm going to click finish. And now in the database, this is our connection properties. It shows the name of the database that we're using and the options that go with it. You can work on a SQL statement if you needed to for more complicated tables and databases if you wanted to. A highlight of how many tables are there and the names of them that would be sitting here. You could add more tables here if you need. What fields are available, the field and the text type of the field, so it can show you that as well. Sort order, if you wanted to have multiple fields, you can switch the order as you can be seen by if you wanted. You can filter by using query prompts. And also the other options that are available, you can limit the rows if you need. And then records per item, you have options here, maximum number of records. You can break when field changes or combine multiple records into a single field. It's very granular if you need it to be, but we're going to keep it very simple today for Todd's needs. And then the record browser in and of itself shows you the database itself and what's available to you in said database. So we're just going to click OK. Now, with that, I could go through and select main data source. And when you have the main data source, if you look here, when you double click on it, now you have two options of double clicking, or you can right click and it gives you the option. So going through double clicking, now you show text 3 is Space Invaders. So it shows you where that is. If I say highlight it on Todd's Retro Gaming, it would show you the data sources here. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to add embedded data. Instead of using embedded data, we're going to select the data source type, change data source type wizard here, and we're going to add database field, and we're going to click next. And then we have games as a database field, and we're going to finish that up. So it shows what's available here. And Galaga was the first name in the database, so it used that as the data in and of itself. So I'll click out of here. And so we can just go to print preview so we can see what's happening. And it gives a high level of labels that are available that are when you print. And if you go to standard print, you have a number of options that will come up before you do the printing. So you can do the queried records, a number of different lists before you do that piece. We can go to the name, we're going to just do a PDF today instead of a printer. And you can actually name the location that you'd want to have that. So I could go through and make the name, or with this folder would be fine. And then we just put Todd underscore test 1. So when this prints out in PDF, it'll go to that folder itself. Click OK. And now here's copies. You can have 1, 2. You can select whatever copies you need to have, which is available to you. You can use the database. We've already got that checked and ready to go. And now you have the queried records. How do we want to do that? So we can go with all if you wanted to. First record only, selected, or selected at print time. So if we just send all and test printed, it prints the other location there. Documents. And we have the print. There she goes. So that's the first. So we can go through as well, but you have the option here to do a little bit more. Instead of actually just going through and using a standard drop down with the print, and there's a way for us, instead of having to print all of them at once, there's a way to do this a little bit smarter, if you will. So what we're going to do is we're going to show and use what's called forms. And with the forms, we're able to go through and you click on the bottom right-hand corner here, and you see form and template. You were in template previously, now we're in form. And with forms, we're able to go through and create a new database or a new connection that will be a lot more exacting of what you want to do with the information at the time. So the form we have here, it's a little bit small. So we have the option to right click and go to form properties, or I can double click. And with that, I'll double click in the form. So right now the width is going to be 6 inches. Let's just move that up to 9. Just make it a little bit more full. As you can see, it automatically moves over to 9 inches from the 6. Now, instead of the height of 4.75, let's go to 6 inches. All right, that looks a lot better. So we'll go ahead and close that. So now we have the option of using different data entry controls to actually create the form and to bring things up. So the first thing we want to do is bring up the database type. So we're going to go ahead and select the Microsoft Excel database. Click next. We're going to select the file. Again, Todd's Retro Gaming Arcade List. We're going to open. Click next. Specify the data just as before. There we go. See the sheet. The file preview. Always check that. Games are available. Click next. And sheet is what we have. Standard. And we'll click finish. So now we've got, again, our database connected to the template itself. I'm going to click OK. So now we're going to connect that to the sample text, which is here. So we'll double click. Again, properties, you can right click or double click. And so instead of the type of data and the data source that we're using, just going to, instead of embedded data, we're just going to click on the options and we're going to select a new type, and it's going to be a database field. Click next. And games is the only field again that we have available. Click finish. And again, we'll just call it the sample text Space Invaders. All right. So now I'm going to select my data entry control for how we want to have the information put into the label itself. So I'm going to go with a record picker today, and it lets you go on through and just add information as you see fit. So I'm going to go on ahead and open it here all the way down. So you just click and you drag and drop, you see the difference there. So this looks great. Now you already have a listing of the games that are available to you in your database itself. But there's more we can do here. There's more, we can get a little more granular in the fun. So again, you can right click in properties or you can double click. So I'll use the right click this time. And this is the properties of our data entry form. And you can see where it's highlighted. This is where we are in our list here. So you have multiple columns type, or you can go to simple cards or custom cards. You see that change. There's simple cards also change. We're going to keep it multiple columns. We're going to keep it simple. We have options of how to search control, how we're going to search through the records, if you will. The search control is the portion you see here at the top. So you can go with show by default or always show, or you can hide by default and always hide. So we're going to leave it with always show just to show options that are available in every case it's needed. And then filtering row is what you see here at the bottom. Or sorry, not see, but it's what's already hidden. So if I go to always show, this is what we're looking at, the edit filter here, pardon me. And so I'm going to hide by default there. Showing column headers. That's where games is, and then it disappears if you uncheck. So you can group by. Now with this piece, you can group by games. So we can go through and just with one click, we can actually organize our database in the record picker as well. And it shows different options and numbers where they are, but we'll leave it at none and just keep no grouping. You can also sort by games as well. Same type of thing. So, and then for event mode or selection mode, you can have single, extended, or toggle. Column selector. This is going to be our key piece here. So it gives you the option of how you want to actually select what rows that you're going to use in your database. So you can either use quantity, so you could go through and say how many you want of each one of these options, which is one way to go depending on how you want to print. But for today, we're just going to go simply with a checkbox. And the checkbox gives you obviously the checkbox options, and you're good to go. Now, row highlighting gives a visual cue, if you will, of being able to see if your evens or odds. Helps a lot when people are trying to go through and figure out a smaller database, if you will. And I like to use odd rows for that. And we have record numbers checked. Record numbers are the ones on the left for the records itself. And this, we're not going to need that. I'm just going to go ahead and take that out. And with that, I think we are clear and finished with going through and customizing the form in and of itself. So now, instead of going through and having to print all of the labels, we're going to do a print preview. And with print preview, it's going to bring up our form. And all are selected. But instead of the selected, I can uncheck all, and I can choose just which ones that I want to print. So we can go with Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Super Mario Brothers, Double Dragon, Tekken 4, Street Fighter 5, and we'll throw Street Fighter 6 in there. And when we click the preview, now we have the labels that we selected, and we can print out just what we need when we need them. We can select how many copies of each that we want to have if necessary. So it gives you a lot more control, and it makes a somewhat tedious process that you'd usually have creating these and printing them out all at once, getting the ones that you need instead and printing the ones that you want to have. And that is my high level of creating labels using a linked database, if you will. Ryan, I'll give it back to you.
Awesome. That was great, Stephen. I cannot believe how easy it truly is to just get your labels to be or get your data to connect to the labels. And so I just want to say that, everything that we saw when it came to connecting your data to your label template is available across our 4 editions of BarTender. However, if you are looking to get more detailed with your label design, such as leveraging data entry forms or other capabilities, those are going to be available in the professional edition or anything higher, such as automation and enterprise. And as I mentioned, BarTender is available in 4 editions that do support businesses of all sizes and industries, from a small business to a Fortune 100 enterprise. Starter offers right out the box label design and printing tools to help you get started in minutes. Professional introduces dynamic database connectivity that simplifies template management and mobilizes your label printing workforce. Automation helps you save time and resources by streamlining workflows with flexible integrations and automated processes. And Enterprise supports mission critical operations by delivering enterprise wide control to streamline teams, increase accountability, and enable traceability. But if you're not sure which edition is best for your application, we're more than happy to help you. And stay tuned for more of our Getting Started with BarTender webinars, where we'll continue exploring more of BarTender's capabilities to show you how to build a smarter labeling operation. Along with that, we also have just released the latest version of BarTender, BarTender 11.5, a few months ago. The latest version introduces greater flexibility for scaling businesses while meeting your compliance needs. This can be seen through driverless remote printing from the new Print Portal One driver, simplified regulatory compliance from the centralized BarTender Common Template Library, offering new and up-to-date pre-built label templates that are updated instantly, and as well as support for .NET 8 and Windows Server 2025. And so if you're not running on BarTender 11.5 or any newer version, you're really missing out on some industry-leading features and capabilities. And don't worry, if you don't know how to get started with your software version update, we have plenty of options to help you. But the number one thing you need to make sure is that you're on an active maintenance and support plan. So the first option is to make sure you renew your maintenance agreement, or another option is to take advantage of the BarTender License Flex program, which includes maintenance and support and is the number one option to help you save money on your labeling while helping you scale with cheaper upfront costs for add-ons and upgrades. Additionally, if you have several BarTender licenses, I highly suggest consolidating those to help you simplify your labeling management and potentially get more from BarTender with a higher edition. But if you'd rather have someone else take care of your software update and not have to think about it, no problem. Our professional services team is more than happy to help you with an upgrade assessment so you know what you need to do it yourself or simply just let the experts do it. But now let's move into the Q&A. Some of you were, or we did receive some questions prior to this recording, where some customers wanted to learn a little bit more about, database connection. And so, Stephen, to kick us off, one of the main questions that we got was related to what databases does BarTender support?
Oh, it's a great question. There's a number of them. We can go through and excuse me, let me take a quick. When you're looking at the new record set, you have a number of them. Text file is available, supports various encodings and formats with CSV and text width fields. XML files, BarTender data builder itself, Microsoft Excel, which even includes .xls and XLSX files. Excel Online is supported. Microsoft Access, all versions of Access are available. SQL Server itself, from 2005 and later. Oracle, supporting 10 gigs and later. JSON files, Firebird. We're going to some older ones now. IBM DB2, IBM Informix, Google Sheets, Microsoft Azure SQL, MySQL, and Maria Database, PostgreSQL, QuickBooks Online, SAP iDoc File, SAP HANA, OLE DB database connections, and ODBC database connections. So quite a few, to say the least.
Yeah, no, that's quite a list there. So yeah, it sounds like that we do support a wide variety. Can you have more than one form at a time on a label?
Absolutely. Let me share my screen again. It's actually very simple on how you would do that. One moment, and I'm going to replace the current. And let me know you can see that.
Yes.
Good deal. So when you see form here, look at the bottom, you have template, you have form, but you can just click here, insert form. Now you have another option of inserting a new form. You can add new template object data sources, and instead of using the other form, you can have it be used for in a secondary manner for depending on which type of controls that you want. It starts to get really into the weeds, but you can have a lot of fun making sure you're getting exactly what you want out of your template.
That's great because there are a few other questions that we did receive related to forms, such as do forms support other fonts? It looked like the one that you were showing was just kind of more of a standard one. So are there other fonts that we can use?
Absolutely. If we can go through and we can pop in just a normal wrap text, and then you can go through with properties, if you will. And right here, you can have the font selector and standard range of what you need right there available, ready to go. We can go to Sitka small and regular in style and click close, and we can go to, I always like basketball. Let's see if I'll give us basketball. There we go, basketball old face. And you can make the changes there in text. What else we got, Ryan?
Yeah. Other than the record picker, how many other data entry options are available for forms?
Oh, we have several. So if we go right here to data entry controls, you have text input box, drop down list, list box, checkbox, radio button list, drop down text input boxes, word processor input box. You have group box, group divider line, button, number input box, slider, date picker, time picker, month calendar, and then record picker as you saw. You can have a drop down record picker. You can also do scale display and image capture.
Cool. And then I think we have time just for one more question, and then we need to wrap up here. How easy is it to replace a database with a new database? If we're looking to move systems.
Well, it's very easy to do. So you go through and click on the database itself. So we have this database available to us, Todd's. And so if you need to use something else, we can go through and in the bottom corner here, you can just delete and then add a new record set. And we'll go to Microsoft Excel. Let's go to a different file. And I could go to my Crossroad Pharmaceuticals here and we could put in a chemical list, open it up and see the file preview, see what you have available, finish. And now we've replaced it.
So very easy. So yes, and also continues to stay simple. Well, thank you, Stephen. I am going to actually just take the share back. Um, and again, I just want to thank everyone for watching our session today. Again, we are going to be, oh, sorry, didn't click the share. Uh, I hope you all learned a thing or two from today's presentation. And again, if you are interested in learning more about BarTender or updating your software or joining the License Flex program, please connect with your reseller or the Siegel sales team. You can also get started with a 30-day free trial if you're not already a current BarTender user. And we have some additional resources for you that are going to be included in this presentation that will be shared with you all after watching this recording. But that's all the time we have for today. And again, please stay tuned for more of our Getting Started with webinar sessions.